We're live.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you may be. Welcome to this collaboration between Gunners Short and Chakra News. I'm Sandeep Punitan, Editor in Chief of Chakra News, and of course, I'm joined by my friend Lieutenant General P.R. Shankar, who runs Gunners Short. It's a one of a kind YouTube channel which you must like, share, and subscribe to. And of course, Chakra News as well. Welcome, General Shankar.
Morning, and how are you this fine Saturday morning, Sandeep?
General Shankar, I must say it's just been 10 years into the new year, and I feel like we've been, 6 months into 2026 already.
22.
Well, events are moving at the pace of months and days as we are speaking. And today we're here to, throw more light on Trump's imperial presidency, something that was coined for President Richard Nixon in the 1970s. Arthur Schlesinger coined that phrase for him, but it appears that Trump is taking that in ways that we never imagined, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. I have a lot of questions to ask you, General Shankar, but first, let's start with that map that we were talking before the show began.
Yeah, let me paraphrase it in what you said. I'll get that map. They say in geopolitics, many times a week looks like a month or a year,
Yeah.
and many times a month looks like a week, or a year looks like what happens in a year happens in a week, and that's what
Yes.
the last 10 days. We've gone into 2025 and the whole world has changed. So
Yes.
let me get this map on and yeah, yeah, sorry. Let me add this. Some problem. I'm not able to add. Yeah, here it comes. Sorry.
There it is.
Yeah, this is map. Yeah. Uh, I must explain this to everyone, and I've been explaining this. Interestingly, this map is something, and with these stars, something which I put in last year when Trump assumed presidency. I've not changed anything. The only one which I've added is Venezuela in this. The rest of the stars, Venezuela is because it's the latest happening.
Right.
Otherwise, they remain the same. And the heading was this at that time: American dominance and regaining internal strength. And that is what is today happening. And that is what you have seen happen in the past 1 week. Just look at it. I'll recount and then we'll talk. We'll go back and go back and forth on this. And I'd like your comments also on this after this. You see, Venezuela happened early this year,
3rd of
but
Jan.
yeah, 3rd of Jan, early this year. But something else happened a little before that, and that was Panama. And this started last year. In Panama, the Chinese were controlling Panama Canal very obtrusively, right, without anyone knowing about it. So Marco Rubio paid a visit to the Panama and told, look, stop this. So immediately what happened? The two ports which Lakashing were, that's a Lakashing is a Lakashing Ports is a company based out of Hong Kong, basically Chinese. They were forced to pull out, or they were
Mm.
forced to put their whole holdings on sale, right? But the Chinese government put a foot in, all that, and they stopped
Right.
that sale. But the control of the ports has gone out of their hand. It's gone into Panama's hands. And not only that, Panama has virtually kicked out China from there.
Mm.
There was a old 150-year-old monument of Chinese in Panama. And interestingly, that monument was put up basically because of the contribution of Chinese workers in Panama Canal those days. Chinese labor was used for that area, besides other things. So they had a monument for them. The current Panaman authorities have just broken it down with a JCB, and the Chinese are howling. But the fact is, Panama Canal is out. It's under
Right.
American control.
Right.
Then this year comes Venezuela. Venezuela, so Venezuela taken over, oil, control of oil, petrodollar saved, all that, plus the Panama route saved. And then now you pose the regional threat to all communism in that area, Cuba, Colombia. That Colombia fellow has already gone and made amends with, incidentally, Gustavo Petro, who is the president of Colombia, went and had a talk with Trump and said, "Yaar, mere ko maaf karo, chhod do mere ko." I
Right.
mean, this has gone unnoticed under the carpet. This happened day before yesterday. Okay, one domino, right? So all that has happened here. What's happening in Yemen? Look at it. Yemen, Houthis, ye, wo, all that we heard throughout last year. Today it's all gone.
Hmm.
The we've heard of a UAE Arab fight and South Yemen and South Transitionary Council, everything, all that is happening. But America is ensuring that southern Yemen, including the ports of Aden and Mukalia and all, are under one control.
Right.
What is to come out is not there. But the main thing is that Houthis have been cornered. In the south of Bab al Mandab, Somaliland, Israel has landed.
Right. Right.
Right? That means this is free, completely free to, Red Sea corridor, that Bab al Mandab, Horn of Africa, everything is free. And the funniest part, which many people have not caught, is that on when Venezuela was happening, second, third, sometime then, uh, a, a, a Chinese ship was hijacked by Somalians,
Right.
and they had to pay ransom to get out. That's China for you. So, okay.
Interesting.
And then on top, you see today, Iran is under trouble, and Trump is issuing out statement after statement every day
Hmm.
that he's daring the Iranian mullahs and ayatollahs that if you use force, I'll get in. And they're not able to use force, and they're not able to reverse the situation. Iran is going to its inevitability. We discussed this
Yes. Just last Saturday.
last Saturday. And what today is day 13 or day 14, whichever, depending on where you're looking at from. Uh, things are gone back to us. The situation is not improving. The situation is only horizontally proliferating. And situation, Iran could go any day now. It's a matter of time, the way I look at it.
Yes.
I mean, look at Iran. Iran had a lot of power all over West Asia. That's gone.
2 years back, and today they are
Yeah,
one of the weakest
gone.
countries. They're just yes.
Yeah, they're gone. All their interests are gone. They've defeated in war. Their economy is in tatters. How long will these mullahs continue? What will be the new regime? We don't know.
Hmm.
But America will dominate that new regime. I don't
Right.
have doubt. So that's gone. India, whether you like it or not, we are under pressure.
Absolutely.
We
Lots
are
of
under
enormous
pressure.
pressure. Yes.
Enormous pressure. We are under enormous pressure from China. We are enormous pressure from USA. China is on or think you open your markets up, we'll become friends and all. There's a problem
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
USA is now threatening us with 500%. So what do you do? And look at it from a US perspective. He's put you on a spot,
Hmm.
right? Go further. Everyone talks Taiwan, 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 but he's given $10 billion worth of arms to Taiwan. And Japan is now, people are talking of real nuclearizing Japan.
Yes.
If that happens, what happens to China?
Right.
Right? Now, the North, this Arctic routes, right?
Those are opening up, and the
Those are
competition there has
opening up.
begun. Yes.
And one of the first shots which Trump fired when he took over presidency was Greenland. In between, he kept quiet. Now he's back.
Yeah.
Okay. So there is no doubt in my mind that American dominance is back, and it's back like, never before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
It's,
And that's why we're calling it
I
the
want
Imperial
your comments on
Presidency.
it. I mean, I've
Yeah.
said my
Yeah.
piece,
No.
your
No.
comment.
General Shankar. I mean, we dismiss Trump as a madman, and he's just crazy and all that. But as you just framed it, I mean, there is a logic to all of this. There is a method to this madness, and I mean, we were looking at Greenland, and if you see that the kind of it's almost imperial, that kind of farsightedness that these guys are showing there. grabbing Greenland. In fact, he's in the last couple of hours, he's stepped up the rhetoric. He's saying that we're just going to take it. Just because you landed there with a boat 500 years back doesn't make it yours. So it's as blatant as that. And I think this is just a tactic to. I'm sure there's not going to be any military takeover of Greenland. And they can, but they obviously don't want to do it. There will be some kind of a deal on Greenland. That's his style, right? I mean, he threatens you with the maximum, the worst kind of thing, and then he will, settle for something else. And I think that's what's going to happen in Greenland as well. And like you mentioned, Greenland is so important to the American strategy if you look at it 20, 30 years down the line, because uh, the US, there are two ends of that Arctic supply, the shipping route, which is going to open up in the next couple of years. There, at one end of it, that's the Bering Strait, where
Yeah,
Putin and met Trump, and this is the other end, which is the Russian end of it, and they
yeah,
want to sit there on that other end in Greenland. And of course, Greenland is just 3,000 kilometers away from one of the most strategic bases on Earth. I mean, it is so strategic. I was just reading up on it in the last couple of days. The Kola Peninsula, it is crawling with Russian ballistic missile submarine bases. It's the most critical Russian strategic peninsula, a geographical feature actually, where all their missile bases, all their submarines are based there, second strike capability. So there are multiple reasons why he wants Greenland. But this is one of the most fascinating maps that I've seen, where you actually put it out right there. All of it's like a X-ray of Donald Trump's head
yeah,
and all
yeah. This is
the
it, and this has held good. I only where these orange ones are what I've changed to current. I
yeah,
mean, I should have changed Greenland also to current, but it will become current one of these days.
yes,
And people need to realize that Greenland lies between Russia, the shortest route between Russia and USA, and
yes,
all missiles are to fly over that. It's not only
absolutely,
the shortest route between Russia, it's also the shortest route between China and USA.
yes,
And any ballistic missile interception, it's best done over Greenland.
yes. Which is why the
Oh,
Americans have a base there. They have that space base
yeah, they have a
something.
base, but that
Yeah,
base is hardly,
150
what this fellow
people.
wants to do now is he'll probably put anti-ballistic missiles there,
Right.
combine it with the satellite overview and this, and he's already there. So I think it's a huge thing. Uh, and I'd also like to go back. Why? I mean, okay, let me ask you this question, and I'll
Yeah.
come up with it later. Why do you think his strategy is imperialistic in nature? Because you came up with this coinage of, imperial presidency.
Yeah. So, imperial presidency, because, American presidents, I mean, the American president is the most powerful figure on earth, whether you like it or not. But they had a way of doing it. They had a way of conducting business, which was, couched in diplomaties and, legalese and all of that. They would launch a coalition. They would not go into, unilateral actions, and they would, manufacture first. You'd manufacture the case. You make a thing that Saddam Hussein has got weapons of mass destruction. We need to take him out. Then they would build that coalition. Then they would go and go to the United Nations and all of that. So there was a certain way they would do it in the 21st century. I'm not talking of the 19th or the
No,
20th. But Trump has just ripped up the whole playbook, and he is going directly, just the way emperors in the past in the 19th century used to do. Oh, okay, you have that land, I want it. You know, you either sell it to me or I'm going to take it by force. So, in that sense, this is more of an imperial presidency, and it's more imperial than any other American presidency that we've seen. It's very, very, it's a blast from the past, if you can put it that way. I have no other way of saying, and that's what I think we are still trying to make sense of it. The Americans, of course, are living through it, but the Europeans are dealing with it. This is bolt from the blue for them. It could mean the end of NATO even. And it's actually going to spark off. It's going to have a lot of consequences. 20 years down the line, we will be still studying this presidency, because what it's going to set off is a chain reaction where you will have countries now saying that, look, I can't depend on an alliance to save me. I will have to militarize myself. I was just looking at Denmark's military. I mean, it's got one of the tiniest militaries in Europe. So there was a friend at India Today was asking me how long would it take the Americans to take over Denmark militarily. I said it would probably take them half a day. They'd be there by lunchtime. It would take
And have dinner.
one. Yeah, exactly. One assault ship. They have got the Danes have 6 frigates and they have no submarines. Their entire military is smaller than the Indian Coast Guard, which is about 15,000 people, 10 or 15,000 people. So countries have never invested in these kind of capabilities, and so it's a big wake up call for a lot of people. And I think the Europeans have started rearming, militarizing. Countries are starting to reach for nuclear weapons. I mean, that was the biggest takeaway for me in 2025, where there was a time in history where you rarely spoke about nuclear weapons. But in 2025, I think that nuclear rhetoric touched sky high heights. Where you have the UK reaching for nuclear weapons, you have other countries, contemplating. South Korea and Japan, for instance, they're talking of a second strike capability, those kind of things. So we are looking at the world today in 2026 in a way that we've never seen in the last, certainly not in the 21st century. And I think that era of great power competition is back in a very, very big way. And like you said, it's all about China.
Let me put it in a. You said great power competition is back in a big way. I agree with it. But do you think there's a great power competition at all, or it's being beaten out of shape? And do you think this imperialism of Trump will continue here for the next 3 years? Because you've
Well,
seen two great powers beating retreat.
so it's essentially the contest is between the US and China. And,
Yeah,
the US is the dominant power, it's the hegemon. China is the power that wants to displace the United States, and it is a manufacturing powerhouse. You have Russia, which is a resource powerhouse, and as you've just put out, all of Trump's actions in the last couple of days have directly hit China, because if China is the biggest beneficiary of cheap Russian oil, cheap Iranian oil, and cheap Venezuelan oil. Now, if you put his three sources of cheap oil, if you disrupt it, he's going to think twice before invading Taiwan, right? So
yeah.
you're modulating his behavior, you're changing his thing by putting this thing, and unpredictability. I think that is the biggest thing. That the last time this phrase was used, the Imperial Presidency, was Nixon, right? And Nixon had a thing of being like a mad guy, and he was, people would say that, oh, it was this guy is so unpredictable, he'll launch off nuclear weapons and stuff like that. And this kind of unpredictability on Trump's part is what the Chinese would be a little unsure about. They're still not sure if the Americans will intervene militarily if they invade Taiwan. So I think he's put a big spanner in the works for Xi Jinping. But
Yeah,
I want to
plus,
ask you this, Kiran Shankar. You think he's going to cede Asia to China and keep the Americas to himself and say that, look, I don't care what you do in Asia. I'm going to keep Americas. What you do in Asia is your problem.
I don't think so. If you read his national security strategy, which has come out, and it's very clear what he's going to do,
Hmm.
and he's enunciated it already in black and white. I'll have to go back a little to come back to this national security strategy. See, go back to his first term. He came up with a lot of his ideas, but what happened then? He was not supported by his staff. He had two or three state secretaries of state, defense secretaries, four of
Yeah.
them. His White House chief of staff got changed, and no, his staff didn't support him in the first
Right.
presidency
Right.
for many reasons. Right? He was also new, yeah, all that. He was kicked out. Okay, and he lost the election. 5 years, 4 years, he's now plotted his way through back.
Hmm.
He's put together a set of guys, right, who are loyal to him. All these chaps are loyal to him. All of
Personal
them
loyalty. Absolutely.
they depend on him for political oxygen, right? And plus, all of them are pretty sharp.
Hmm.
They're not fools. They're experts in their own rights. He's put together that team and he's been doing all this. And he's produced papers, thought papers. He doesn't do it. I mean, he's got his staff to do it as
Yep.
to how to handle the situation when he becomes the president.
Right.
On the first day of his presidency, he says, drill, baby, drill. I
Hmm.
want Greenland, I want Canada, and he says, I want Panama. That's what he said. I still remember.
Yes.
Okay. I want these three. The rest I will see. And then, of course, he went and said, Xi Jinping is a great friend of mine. Modi is a great friend of mine. Whoever is great friend, that country is at stake
Right.
under the thing. That's what you have to infer today.
Hmm.
Okay. He's put this and he started executing it. No one believed him. Here he is. He's come out with the strategy. I'm back to the strategy. Now he's got a set of guys who have written the strategy.
Hmm.
They know how to execute it. They are loyal to him. He's very clear what to do. So this is going to go. This is very clear ideas as to how to take it forward without giving any quarter to China or Russia or India also. He'll not give India also a quarter in this. I mean, we should be very clear about that. We'll come to India a little
Yeah,
later.
we
What?
need to know how to handle him. That's the biggest question.
Yeah,
I'm sure a lot of our viewers want
yeah,
to know
yeah.
that.
Now we need to understand what this Trump strategy is all about. If you see his strategy, he's given out the Trump corollary to the Monroe Doctrine.
Yes. The
Okay,
Donroe Doctrine, as it's
or
called.
Donroe Doctrine, as he say.
Yeah.
What is that all about? I mean, we have to understand what is Donroe Doctrine or the Trump corollary all about. It is about firstly the Western Hemisphere. When he
Hmm.
talks of the Western Hemisphere, he talks of North America, South America to be America's backyard and everyone else to be kicked out.
Right.
They can do trade there. He doesn't stop trade, but influence is only his.
Yes. That's what Rubio said it very clearly about Venezuela, right? He said that we
Yes.
are not going to allow any foreign powers to come into
Any foreign
Venezuela.
power,
Yeah.
non-hemispherical power to come there.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if that be so, already you've seen that he's consolidated Colombia. Colombia
Yeah.
has fallen in line. I told you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Venezuela is with him. Guyana is with him. You see, interestingly, many people don't understand
The oil
why.
in Ghana is, yeah.
And Venezuela was eyeing it, and it had Chinese
Yes.
backing.
Yes.
Okay, that's so the northern tip of Southern America is with him.
Yeah.
Argentina is with him
Yeah.
completely. Now Chile is one sucker who'll swing both ways.
Right. Right.
Chile is a state which plays both. Now he'll slow and steadily he'll start twisting Chile also. They'll
But
fall.
there's one other country you haven't mentioned, General Shankar, which has been there in the backyard for what, 60 years, 63 years.
Cuba.
Cuba.
Cuba will fall now. The next domino to fall there will be Cuba.
He's going to go after them militarily.
No, he doesn't have to. See, the thing is, Cuba, after 70 years of Fidel Castro and his Raul Castro, his nephew, and all
Yeah.
that, today is a non functional economy.
Hmm.
Okay. The only thing which Cuba has is got talent because
Right.
whether you like it or not, Fidel Castro had a good set of universities, yeah, education, and all that.
Right.
But he didn't have money. He was
Hmm.
being bankrolled by Venezuela.
Right.
Right now, that is cut. That money supply is cut. China, we cannot go and bankroll anyone because China doesn't bankroll anyone. It's not in China's habit to bankroll anyone.
Right.
One of China's biggest drawbacks, which has now come out, is they are not prepared to politically engage with the countries in which they're going to go and get influence.
Yeah. I mean, look how quietly they exited Venezuela.
They don't have a leg to stand on politically. So
Yeah,
they've gone.
without a
Not
troop.
only, I mean,
Yeah.
why Venezuela? They've exited Sri Lanka also.
Yeah. Quietly.
So they politically they don't have the capability, they don't have that sustenance.
Hmm.
Okay. So they'll not support Cuba. Nor will Russia support Cuba. Russia has to survive on its own. I mean, let's talk
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
Forget about all. So where does it leave Cuba? Okay. He is also fingering Mexico, which is a leftist
Yeah.
government.
He's spoken of drone strikes on Mexico, that
Mexico
they're going to take out the cartels there.
cartels. So all these affect, and he's already, like I said, neutralized Colombia.
Yeah.
He is neutralized. Panama is on his side. What is left there? Guatemala, Nicaragua, San
Nothing.
Salvador, El Salvador, and all the
Brazil is
small
there, of
ones.
course. Brazil is a
Huh?
big one. Yeah. Brazil.
I'll come to Brazil. So all this are this thing. So all these will squeeze Cuba. Cuba has got no space.
Hmm.
Without money, Cuba will fall. That's the status. It might not happen this year, it might happen next year, but it'll go. But he'll go for the slow squeeze on Cuba. You watch it as we go along. Will this thing now? Brazil. Brazil is an interesting one.
Hmm.
You know, Brazil today. Lula, who's a leftist, is the president of. I mean, the prime minister of Brazil. Before that was Jair Bolsonaro, who was a rightist completely.
Who's in
Before
jail?
that was Dilma Rousseff.
Yeah.
Dilma Rousseff is out and out died in the wool communist. Okay, and she's sitting today as head of new Asia Bank or something like that, or some one of these SEO type of banks in China in Beijing. Okay, and she's a complete Xi Jinping acolyte, and
Hmm.
and Lula's chela, Lula's
Right.
protege, and before
Right.
that was Lula.
Right.
Between Lula and Dilma Rousseff, they ruined the Brazilian economy completely. Bolsonaro came and made it even worse. Okay. And Lula now realizes Lula is a leftist, but the fellow's got he's balanced. He knows he can't do much. Okay. He's dealing with uh, China, right? Till recently, he was okay with dealing with China in dollars. Now he wants to deal with China in yuan
Yeah.
and settle in a currency other than that. Where Marco Rubio, I said, you do that and I'll do what I have to do. What he has to do, we'll have to see how everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Already, they have punctured Brazil's deal of soya beans with China, incidentally.
Hmm.
When the soya bean thing came, China didn't take soya beans from USA. They took soya beans from Brazil. But it turns out that the soya beans from Brazil were infected.
Okay.
How they were infected, I don't know. Quality control, ye, wo, and all that. So China had to go back to USA. So that deal is out. So trust USA to come up with its bag of dirty tricks and puncture Brazil, right? So I see it's you put all this together,
Yeah.
his Western Hemisphere strategy is absolutely solid.
Because there's no opposition. I mean, these are little countries, small countries with,
They not only have no opposition,
yeah,
China will have to recede from here.
it's
You
already
watch it,
vanished. It's not
vanished.
there. China is not there. Russia is not there. So I think he's just muscled in on his backyard. And
Muscle
I think,
is
like you said, it's just a question of when they will fall, not if.
yeah. And Europe, he's not interested. He said, Europe, you do what you want.
Okay.
Right? You want to fight with Russia, you fight with Russia. You don't want to fight with Russia, don't fight with Russia. But I'm not going to bankroll you. You do what you want. And he's told Putin very clearly, "Ki you do what you want with Ukraine. It's your baby. But beyond the point, if you go, I'll start coming in."
Right.
He's given that message. And you can have missiles, everything, but I'll screw you otherwise.
Well, they're
He's given
cutting
that
down
message very
the ghost ships. They're going after the
ghost
ghost
ship.
tanker fleet.
That will
Uh,
and 500% tariff on Russia
yeah.
for that oil is not a joke, and we have to think seriously now. Okay, and so that will happen. So that puts Russia on the back foot. So that Europe is out. Middle East, he said they'll continue to fight. Yeah, all that. I'm not interested. Why is he not interested? Because he's already got control of the entire oil there.
Yeah.
Right from Mediterranean to Pakistan, he's got everyone in his pocket.
Yeah.
Okay, China is cannot depend on Pakistan anymore.
Hmm.
He's taken Pakistan away from China, which is good for us, incidentally, right? So that's gone. So his petrodollar is sure going to hold.
Yeah.
With this consolidation of that oil, China is at a discount to threaten him with rare earths.
Right. Right.
Plus, China has to now buy oil at normal rates, not discounted rates. So its
Not
economy
discounted.
is going to whimper.
He's basically created leverage against both Russia and China. So
China,
otherwise he had no leverage. So
no
now he's
leverage.
created. Yeah.
Now
So
you come to the Far East,
yeah.
right?
Japan and Korea.
Japan, Korea, Taiwan. Taiwan, he's giving $10 billion, arms.
Weapons. Yeah.
After that, you think China can do anything against Taiwan? China can do nothing against Taiwan militarily, right? And Japan, all of a sudden, has started talking of nuclearization. And if you
Right.
read Chinese mainstream media,
Yeah.
they're talking 30% of the time they're talking of Japan.
Yes. No, and the
Okay,
and the language they're using is very extreme. Not that China has any other way when it comes to Japan, but they're saying, "Look, I don't understand Japan." Who was it? Victor Gao was saying that recently.
yeah.
Uh, Japan surrendered to us in 1945. What are they jumping about 80 years later? That's the kind of rhetoric they're using.
No, forget rhetoric. Victor Gao is an idiot. He's just a loudmouth. Then he's a designed loudmouth to come out with threats and all that. But there are uh, serious analysis coming out within China in Mandarin
Right.
that resurgence of Japan is a big problem for them. Between Takaichi and Trump, the focus of
Yeah.
China
Yeah.
today is not on Taiwan alone. It's
Yeah.
suddenly gone to Taiwan, Philippines, and it's gone to Japan, and behind that is this Trump fellow who's sitting on their head.
Right. Right. Because they're strengthening that first island chain.
Why?
They're
Yeah,
opening up bases. They're reopening bases. Subic Bay and all of these bases were what we used to speak about during
yeah.
the
The
Cold
Subic
War
Bay is in Philippines,
in the
right?
Philippines, and Guam
Yeah,
is being strengthened. They're opening up new bases near Japan. So it's a kind of remilitarization of the East Asia that we've not seen since the Cold War, at least in 30,
yep.
35 years.
No,
And
it-
this is very interesting times that we are in.
actually, this is not new. Again, this is not new. I spoke of this at the beginning of Trump's tenure.
Last
A
year.
lot of remilitarization of the first island chain
Yeah.
and Philippines and Guam happened towards the end of Biden tenure, and
Yeah.
this fellow's upped it. It's already there.
Yeah. It's a response to, I think, the Chinese PLA Navy, I mean, the way
Yeah,
they've been surging ships and submarines. So they
all
want
that.
to, basically hold them in the first island
So they
chain.
held them there. So China is
Yeah.
boxed in.
Yeah.
So where does that leave? And let me ask you this question. All this we have said,
Yeah.
but do you see China reversing the story?
I think it's going to be very difficult for the Chinese. I mean, they of course have a lot of strengths. They've built up a navy. They've built up their manufacturing capacity. What 50% of global manufacturing output by the end of this decade, I think. They're in a very strong position. They have weaponized trade and commerce, and they've weaponized rare earths. So all of that. And I think what Trump is doing, you might not like the man, the way he is so brazen. I mean, he's saying that that the Nobel Prize winner is going to come to Washington, and be really nice if she gives me the Nobel Prize, or words to that effect. So that's going to be, it's unprecedented, this kind of imperial language. But I just had a quick thought when you were talking about it. There's a very important date in this year, in 2026. That is the 4th of July 1776. That's the 250th anniversary of the United States. So there is something in me that tells me that he is planning something. I mean, of course, there is a lot of celebrations that they've planned, but there is something that he wants to do, which is possibly, create a 51st state or something. Who knows? Greenland could be that 51st state. He wants to. It's all about legacy for Trump, I guess. He
Yeah,
is
yeah.
now fighting to build a legacy on which the next election will be fought by whoever his successor is. So I think that's a thing that we are living through. But General Shankar, what does this mean for India? You've set the pace. You've set the whole the global state of play. But India is in the middle of this. We are in a tight situation right now with the United States. What are our options? I mean,
Okay.
where do we
I,
go?
again, I'll step back, and I will see what is the opportunity for us, because I would like to see USA not as a threat anymore.
Right.
Okay, for all common practical purposes, 500% threat. I mean, everything is a threat. Take a step back. Go back. I'll ask you this question and a quick answer. 90s,
Hmm.
2000, 2010, that decades. What is your biggest problem? Radical Islam, terrorism, and
Yeah.
all that, isn't it so?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where were the wars being fought?
In the Middle East, West Asia,
Middle East, West
Afghanistan,
Asia.
Iraq, global war
Yeah,
on terror,
global
GWOT.
war on terror and all
Yeah.
that. There was one nation which never participated on all this:
Are you talking about Israel?
China.
China, right. China never takes part in any wars, nothing
Wow.
else. They're very
Now that's
smart.
what the that's the thing. For 3 decades, the rest of the world were fighting each other
Yeah.
silly for very many reasons. Okay, many other whatever there are wars going on. China was not involved in a war. It got 3 decades of peace to progress.
Yes.
In that time, manufacturing, finance, all that shifted to China. They never bothered about
Right.
Taiwan. They never bothered about anything. They were just producing, manufacturing, economy, all that they
Yeah.
were doing. And they went with anyone and everyone. They said, okay, Russia के साथ दोस्ती कर लो. They said, India के साथ दोस्ती कर लिया इन्होंने.
Hmm.
Okay. And they did dosti with everyone. No geopolitics, no nothing.
Right.
Zero. And they progressed. Okay. Today, are you in that state or not? Today, you're not
Hmm.
involved. You have a problem with China, you can handle it. You have a problem with Pakistan, you can handle it. But the major wars, the major focus is where?
You're not in
Is the
that
major
major focus. Yeah.
is the major focus, like, let's look at it from an oceanic perspective. Is the
Yeah.
major focus in the Western Pacific?
Yeah.
Yes. Right. Is
Certainly.
the major focus in Atlantic?
To an
Yes.
extent, yes. Yes.
Yes. Atlantic Pacific, that combination. Is there a problem around Middle East? It will continue.
Right.
It doesn't affect you. If Iran goes tomorrow, which it will go, I expect it to go any day now,
Yeah. Yeah.
then the consolidation of the Middle East in a different form will happen,
Hmm.
or not happen, or they will
Right.
descend
Right.
into back into their own chaos.
Yeah.
So it doesn't affect us. Okay. If you look this side, so what affects you? Nothing.
Nothing directly
Aren't
affects us. You're right. Yeah.
aren't you in the same position as China was 2 decades, 3 decades back?
Right. Yeah. That's right. So you're okay. I get it.
Is it in your uh, interest to take a position anywhere? Hence, it's not. What did China do? China never took a position on anything anywhere.
Yeah.
So why should you take a position today?
Oh, so you're saying that hide your strength, bide your time. This is not the
Bus.
time for
This is
chup
not
chap,
the
let
time.
sit quietly, build your economy and your strength,
Build
your
your
military.
economy. Okay, how do you build your economy? Let me take it further, because that's the next logical thing.
Yeah.
Now, you can build, you're growing well. You are a self-dependent economy for a lot of things. You're a consuming economy. Your economic growth is not dependent on external factors but internal factors. You
Hmm.
have this fantastic base called India.
Yeah.
People, you and I, we are
Yeah.
the consumers. Okay, we'll consume anything.
Hmm.
Okay, whether we produce anything or not is a different story. We'll consume. and we have the capability to consume. We will work hard. This is normal average Indian की बात कर रहा हूँ मैं. Okay, and he
Hmm.
likes to enjoy life. He'll eat his pizza and be happy. So our economy cannot collapse
Right.
for this one singular reason. It might do not do well, but it will not collapse. And as far as you have political stability, which we will have, right? There is no India will always be an economic power from here on.
Right.
It's a given. Okay. So you have this thing, you have to build on it.
Hmm.
You have the talent, yeah, all that. So you need investment to go to the next level. Who will give you investment today? You can get investment into India only through three routes or three sources. One
The
source is,
Europeans and the Chinese.
I wouldn't say European. Europeans can't invest.
Right.
Americans, Middle East, and the Chinese. Europeans can reinvest if they can. Reinvest.
Hmm.
They get their investment out of China and invest into you. For that, they need a tide to come their way, which is not coming at this point of time. So you will have no problem of attracting uh, investment from Middle East.
Right.
There's no problem. It will keep coming, irrespective of everything. But that's limiting. China taking investment from China is dicey.
Hmm.
You'll agree with me because that we've had a bad experience of investment in from China because they'll undercut your everything. They'll bribe our people and establish front end guys here and loot everyone.
Yeah.
We've got out of it. We shouldn't get back into it. The third source is US. There's no fourth source. I mean, forget Europe at this point. So US is investing in us.
Right.
The current state of investment from US or prospective is around 60 to 70 billion dollars. They have no choice. See, the Americans also have no choice. They have to come to India. Google is coming to India. Microsoft is coming to India. All these big guys are all coming to India. Even Elon Musk wants to come to India. Everyone wants to come to India. Their destination of investment is here.
Right.
Okay, and Trump says no migration. So if there's no migration into USA,
Hmm.
right, and they can't get Indian talent to work from them there, these are all corporations. They're looking for profit. They have to come to India, and they're doing it. So your economy can't get undermined. Your economy is
Right.
now twinned with USA.
Hmm.
Remember this. It will not disintegrate. It cannot come out. Your IT sector, yeah, yeah, we are joined at the hip with USA.
Right.
The second thing is you have this get dampened because of Trump, but that will remain. If anything, it will rebound after Trump goes. You're talking of first, second generation diaspora who
Yeah.
have gone going up the political ladder. You'll have a backlash today, I have no doubt. But I'm giving you the long term picture,
Right.
right? And then the third is the defense deals which you have done for the past 25 years. Even if you don't do any other defense deal tomorrow, for the next 25 years you have to depend on them. So whether you like it or not, you have a link with USA which will not run away.
Right.
USA also has the same thing. If they're investing 67 to 70 billion dollars in India, they have a commitment. They have no
Hmm.
other place to go. They need your manpower. There's no manpower left anywhere else for them to take. They have to come here. And ultimately, Indian Ocean controls world's trade routes.
Yeah.
Okay, they have to invest in you to control that or be partner to that. They cannot leave all this to anyone else. And that is why, if you see in the Trump strategy on Indo-Pacific, he talks of Delhi.
Right.
He is made mention only once, but that's a very critical thing which he has mentioned. He's not a fool. He knows importance of India. What does he not want from India? He
Hmm.
doesn't want India to get close to China. That is a given.
Right.
Okay, he's uncomfortable with this BRICS,
BRICS and
right?
RIC. Certainly, RIC
RIC,
would be a
yeah,
red ride for
RIC
them.
is a dead horse. I'll don't.
Right.
Then it's a waste of time. And he wants us to get off Russia.
Yeah.
That's it. Can you manage it? Can you manage it? Can you do a deal with Trump on all these issues?
Absolutely. And I think that's what's pending. They've been talking about that deal, the trade deal, which
Yeah.
Lutnick said that was held up because, Prime Minister Modi didn't call, and that
Oh,
kind of
that is something different.
bargaining tactics.
Bargaining tactics. But I'm looking at a macro picture.
Yeah.
Is there a case for us to do a different thinking and say, look, our future, what does our future hold? Unimpeded progress for the next 10 years. If you do
10 years.
unimpeded progress for the next 10 years, you're out.
8% growth, more than 8
You'll get.
plus.
You'll get. So, if that is the case, is there a case for us to start accommodating? Uh, I would say not start accommodating USA, but do a deal with USA
Right.
and get the best out of them.
A trade deal.
Uh, I would say trade deal, any deal, you call it the way you want,
Right.
pander to his fancies, and something, something like do howdy modi from my side.
Okay.
Okay, whatever it is, do something to get that guy on your side. And the thing is, with Iran going the way it is, if Iran
Hmm.
falls tomorrow, and already Israel has said no to Pakistani troops in
Yeah,
Gaza.
they've vetoed their this thing. I think the Munir must be relieved with that one. He said, "Look, I
But the
tried."
fact is that no,
Favorite field
the
marshal.
yeah, he need not send people. But if
Yeah,
Munir doesn't have to send troops there, can't send troops there, and if Iran falls, Munir has got no value for Trump.
yeah,
He'll drop that fellow like a hot brick.
right.
So if he is being dropped like a hot brick, what's our problem?
Hmm.
You have Israel, who's your good friend. Use Israel to be the via media with Trump. It should be in Israel's interest to keep India on its side for Gaza, EAO, and all that. Tell
Yeah,
Trump here lay off. He listens to
right.
Israel. Have we used that? Have we used Benjamin Netanyahu?
I'm sure they must be doing that. And given the fact that
So let's see. I
Prime
hope
Minister
so.
Modi, yeah,
No, I
is
hope
very
so. I
close to
mean,
him.
I am only opening up, you know, pathways,
Possibilities.
possibility. And I
Yes.
was just reading today morning. We'll talk of Russia as our
Yeah.
bosom friend and all that.
Yeah.
I'll reevaluate this today.
Right.
Let's reevaluate. Of course, Russia is our good friend. I still maintain that we should have good relations with Russia. But equally, Russia is selling engines to Pakistan for
Yeah, for the
JF-15,
JF-17. JF-17. That's
17.
right.
And they have recently opened up a RT-TV in Pakistan.
Pakistan.
So what is this friendship?
Yeah.
What is this friendship? So when he is looking for his economy and he's looking to this thing, isn't it time for us to look to our economy, our security, and our thing? Why should you go to
Hmm.
Russia and say, I'll take oil from you and bail you out?
Hmm.
One. Number two, view it in the thing that, okay, tomorrow Iran falls. If Iran falls and a Western oriented or a neutral government also comes there, that oil is on the market.
Yeah.
If that oil is on the market, why do you want to take it from Russia? Take it from Iran. He was one of your biggest suppliers.
Right.
And if Iran oil comes on the market, there'll be a fall in the oil prices, so the discount won't work. There's
Yeah,
already a glut. Today,
there
there's
is.
no require. There's a glut already. If that Venezuela oil and Iran oil comes into the market, oil which is today at $60 a barrel might go
Yeah,
to
will drop.
40, $50. Then it doesn't matter whether you buy oil from Russia or not.
Yeah. So
And in
basically,
any
cheap
case,
oil floods the market. Yeah.
yeah, and in any case, let me again put it: the oil which you get from Russia is not for your domestic consumption. You're exporting it.
Yeah, you're
It only
refining it
serves,
and you're, yes.
yeah, it only serves your refiners, which is
Yeah.
Ambani and gang.
Yeah.
For just Reliance का जो मुनाफा जो है, you can't sacrifice national interest.
Right.
So I think we have to recalculate.
Russian oil.
I want your views
Relook at
on that.
Russian oil. Yeah. No, I
No, and not
completely
only
agree.
Russian oil. I'm
Yes.
talking of our entire stance as a whole.
Reevaluate our stance with Russia.
Everyone, global stance.
Yeah.
Our global stance we should reevaluate. How are you going to deal with your own economy and the world for the next 10 years? How do you do it?
Yeah. No, that's yeah. It is that requires a fair bit of recalibration, I would think.
Yes, you have to recalibrate your stances.
So in January, I think you have two very significant meetings happening in Delhi. You have the Merz is coming, the German Chancellor, and there's talk of one major defense deal that's been signed with the Germans. That's the P-75I
Yeah,
submarine deal.
submarines.
And then, of course, the EU, Ursula von der Leyen is coming for the Republic Day thing. I mean, that's primarily symbolic to say that we are realigning. We're going with the
No, I
European
don't think it's
Union.
symbolic. I don't think it's symbolic.
It's more than
Coming
just
with
that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's coming
You
with a
if
delegation.
you have a FT. See, the point is Euro EU is still got money.
Yeah,
If you have a FTA with them and you open up avenues of exchange,
yeah,
you get technology and money.
yes.
So that's important. That's important. Even for that, even to get that going in the right direction,
Hmm.
you have to ease off from Russia.
Right, because I think that's the whole point of the Europeans and especially the Germans. Germans, if you read their strategy for India, they want to get India away from
Russia.
Russia. Yeah,
So you
particularly
don't
the
have to
military.
completely get away from Russia.
Yeah, yeah,
You do a thing that okay and look, the point is I'm not saying fight with Russia and break away from Russia. You still get your S-500 or S-400 from him. You still
yeah,
get engines from him. If he can sell engines to Pakistan, he'll sell engines to you also. And please remember, uh, Russia is quite transactional with you on these
yeah,
issues.
yeah.
Even in Op Sindoor, he didn't support you. Huh?
Right.
He didn't.
Diplomatically, you mean?
Okay. Yeah, geopolitically, he kept quiet. And he's now this thing. So he's transactional with you to the extent of going and dealing with Pakistan. So you also
Yeah.
deal with him that way.
Hmm.
And the o- oil thing is falling in place for you to deal with him separately with Iran. So there are opportunities opening up
Hmm.
for
Right. There are
us.
opportunities, yeah, for us, and I think we should take full advantage of it. Given the fact that we are like kind of bystanders to this whole thing. We are spectators rather than active participants. So I think
Yeah,
that's a fascinating takeaway, General Shankar. I completely, and this is the reason why I keep coming back to you for wisdom, insights. I mean, you've given us a completely different paradigm, different way of looking at it. Fact is that you've said that this is uh, not so much India's battle or fight. I mean, to the extent we have issues with the trade deal and Donald Trump, his personality, and all that. But this is something that India should actually sit quietly, hide our strength, bide our time, as Deng Xiaoping used to speak, and build our economy, focus on our economy, and head from 8 to 10% growth over the next decade, and do our deals with all of these countries, and be quiet.
Yeah, I think so. I think we had a great discussion. Should we take some
Absolutely.
questions?
Yes, yes, for sure.
Yeah, this is a very interesting question. Opinion. I want your views on that. Is it quite often I've heard that this is real politic, etc. But
Hmm.
shelf life of conniving tactics is short, maybe 2 to 3 lifetimes. Principles transcend generations. Even Chanakya's kingdom vanished. What is he trying to convey? And do you think you have to be real
Uh,
politic or
well,
yeah, views?
to that extent, I think our diplomacy has been a lot, a lot of real politic has been there. If you look at the way we pivoted away from when the Soviet Union collapsed, for instance, in 91, we quietly pivoted away to the United States. Our whole relationship with them changed. We saw the writing on the wall because we needed the US in the early decades, particularly for our economic growth when the liberalization thing began. And I think now we're in pretty much in that space of real politics. The only thing is that we have not been able to build the kind of leverages that we become indispensable to the rest of the world. I think that is where we need to focus on.
I think we'll
And
get there.
yeah, we need to do that. Build up more than just a market or human resources. Maybe build products, the kind that the rest of the world can't do without. I think we started on that game, but we're very late. We are late entrants. Now we have to, look at ways to do it.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree with you. The next question. Dear sirs, can you state if the 500% tariff on oil is a threat or a real risk to India? Thank you. Yeah, your views.
no, I think it's if there is a 500% tariff and India is faced with that, I think we can pivot away very quickly from Russian oil to other GCC countries, which will sell us the oil. So it's not so much of a threat, I think. What
Yeah,
Trump is trying to do is he's trying to build leverage on against Russia. He wants to cut out his. So Russia gets a lot of his oil from, gets a lot of his economy from China and India buying his cheap oil. So that's what they're trying to do, which is to
yeah.
curtail this.
The way I look at it, it's not a threat. It's an opportunity for us.
Right.
This is where the opportunity lies. Yeah, this is also I ask. Trump once said Bangladesh is up to Modi, and now says Taiwan is up to Z. Like back then, he doesn't mean it now as well. I think he's trying to trap Z. Your view on this?
Well, yeah, that turnaround on Bangladesh is astounding because it looked like Bangladesh was with us, and then lo and behold, they are still interested in Bangladesh. And I think it fits into what you had said on one of the podcasts so a couple of weeks ago, where you said this is part of that strategy where they're trying to corral in China on the southern
Yeah,
periphery. We're looking at countries like Iran, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Myanmar, Bangladesh, all of these countries which are on China's southern flanks. And he wants to kind of engage with that Chinese periphery. And that possibly explains the thing in Bangladesh, because Bangladesh, of course, doesn't have a boundary with a border with China, but it is one of those
yeah,
countries that China was very interested in. So I think
I
that is
agree.
what,
And with that chap Gore coming in, Gore is
yeah,
supposed to come in a
Sergio
day,
Gore. Any day now, I think he's
any
going to
day
be in
now.
Delhi.
So we'll see this coming out. Okay.
Yes.
And sir, relations between Trump and Lula are said to be on a mend. What do you foresee regarding Brazil? How will Brazil and India change in BRICS?
Well, you want to take that, Jan Shankar?
Yeah,
You
go
did
ahead.
speak
Go
about
ahead.
Brazil. The fact is that he sees BRICS as a kind of a threat to him. We don't take maybe BRICS as seriously as Trump takes it. And that's been on his radar. And he doesn't like India being part of BRICS because he sees BRICS as trying to build a alternate currency, the part of the de-dollarization. And for them, I think it's going to be an act of war if BRICS countries start transacting among themselves. And there's already
Yeah,
a big threat of, I think there is going to be an armed clash very soon between Russia and the United States in a way that we haven't seen. With the way they're going after, Russian flagged ships. We saw that a few days back. There's always a risk of conflict with that happening. the Russians might want to strike back.
Let's see how it goes. I think in inevitably till recently, India and Brazil were on the same side in BRICS,
Yeah, yeah,
and that will be the counterbalance. Maybe that will work in US favor, and maybe their
right.
calculations will change. I'm not talking of my calculations, their calculations.
Yeah,
But let's see how it comes out.
right.
Yeah, he says yesterday on WION News that government of India is giving contracts to China.
Yeah, it's a fact. They're opening up to China investments. I think that
Investment.
is, yeah,
Yeah, it's only investment and it's a
yeah,
calculated investment.
yeah.
I think the government will try out a couple and see where it goes. I
Yes,
think they're being allowed in certain sectors where we need investment,
where
not
we
in
need
every
it.
sector.
Right,
So we'll see. We'll have to see how it goes. And all this is going to also intersect with what is happening otherwise. So this
right.
is only the first story. Let us see.
Hmm.
Okay. And of course, VS says there is a difference between China of 2000 and India of 2026. US was backing China and globalization then. Today, it's protectionism that rules. Any take on that? I have a very clear view on that,
No, I,
incidentally.
I want to hear your view, Jan Shankar, because
Okay, the very
this
look,
is
protectionism suits us.
right.
Globalism never suited us.
Hmm.
Okay, protectionism, tariffs suit us. We have to play to our strength. So India of 2026 should be clear that these protectionism and isolationism and all these nonsense
Yeah.
is playing into our playbook.
Hmm.
We are not a very open country. We don't allow everyone to come in.
No, we don't.
We don't.
Especially in certain sectors.
Yeah. So it suits us. That's why I said our time. हिंदी में बोलेगा तो अपना टाइम आ गया. ये है कि
अपना
हमारा
टाइम
टाइम
आएगा, आ गया
आएगा.
है.
Okay. Mm. Right. Yeah. What will happen to Chabahar Port? What do you think will happen to Chabahar Port?
Chabahar port is, well, it all depends on what happens with the regime in Iran. And and that anyway, Chabahar was conditional access. We could access it only if the US allowed us to. And that's the
Hmm.
kind of control that the US has, and we had no option but to play along. And it is vital to us to the extent that we have no other way to access Afghanistan and beyond that, Central Asia. So Chabahar is going to be very important. But I'd like to
Chabahar,
see what Sergio
it
Gore
will
says.
only
I mean, it's crucial for this when he
it
comes to
will
Delhi.
not only be important, we'll have it in
Yeah,
future also. And if there is another regime which comes in, just
yeah.
think it from an Iraqi point of view. If
Iranian
some
point. Yeah,
Yeah, Iranian point of view. So if Iran, there's a new regime which comes, their economy is
yeah,
completely shot,
yeah.
done, dusted.
Hmm.
For them to rebuild and stabilize their
Right.
own country, they'll need someone.
Yeah.
Where will they go to? They can't go to China. China is
Hmm.
out of the equation.
Right.
Russia doesn't have the capability.
Yeah.
The Middle East will not help them. That
Yeah.
Sunni Shia divide.
Yeah.
And of course, there are traditional problems. So
Yeah.
who will go to Iran?
Hmm.
Again, I look at India and USA to bail out Iran.
Right.
There's no third country which can bail out Iran if tomorrow things change. In which case, USA will say, "Yaar, tum bhi help karo." USA alone can't help Iran because there's
Iran.
a lot
That's
of
right.
anti US feeling within Iran.
Yeah.
Remember that. Acceptability wise, it's only India, which will come in Iran.
If
So
there is
Iran is
something
a
happening,
great
yes, yes.
opportunity for us coming ahead.
Right.
It will counteract any of this, Russia, USA, that link and ill will towards
Hmm.
India will be counteracted by Iran. I mean, I
Yeah.
hope like hell that bloody Khomeini is shot or he falls or something and a
Yeah.
new regime comes in.
Yeah. Yeah.
If that happens, we are on a pig's back.
Right. So
Okay,
it's
this
good
is a
for
very
us. A
nice,
regime change in Iran is good for us. Yeah.
very good for us. Vivek Berry says, "Be nice to USA. Nothing costs or costs very little." Your view on that?
No, absolutely. I completely agree. We have to, at least for the near time, we need the United States uh,
Yeah,
more than any other country in the world right now.
I
It's very clear.
agree. Okay, India should focus more on Indians in India and not about NRIs.
Absolutely. Where's the doubt?
Yeah, like this is Trump is forcing a regime change in India by infuriating the farmer by imposing ego milk dumping. Your thoughts?
No, I don't think they're forcing any regime change in India. It's
They
not
can't,
that
yeah.
easy.
I mean, let's put it this way: they can't.
Yeah. ख्याल अच्छा
Okay.
है.
क्या
but
लग-
yeah.
नहीं ये है part of that क्याली पुलाव.
Khali pulao. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay. So we've touched a lot of questions, Evo, and all
Absolutely.
that. So your final thoughts, and then we'll close up.
Final thoughts, Jan Shankar. I mean, fascinating talk as always. The world in flux, and trust you to come out with clarity on that. That the Trump imperial presidency is not a flyby, a seat of the pants kind of a feeling that some one person has. It's a plan that they're working to, and I think a lot of these pieces are going to fall in place in the next couple of months. My only worry is that uh, he's pushing the US, in a certain direction. Uh, the Chinese will not respond militarily, at least. They're very pragmatic, but the Russians just might. You start seizing a lot of Russian tankers, Russian flagged vessels. The US has never done that. They've never boarded and seized Russian ships. That is going to, result in some kind of pushback from the Russians. They're forced to retaliate. They will do something. They might sink a ship. They might fire. So there is going to be an issue there. And how quickly can you de-escalate? Putin is already pulling out of the peace plan in Ukraine. So there are a lot of imponderables. So while Trump is working to a plan, Putin is also working to a plan, and he doesn't have a lot of chess pieces. But the ones that he has could,
Pretty
spring a
lethal.
couple of surprises. Yeah, and they're pretty lethal, and you don't want to try him on those hard power things. So that is the unpredictability, and that's why I think we are sailing in very uncharted, dangerous waters. I mean, not we, the world is.
World,
We
yeah.
are not. We are a bystander to a lot of this thing, and why we watch the way things are, shaping up. But we are actually going through very dangerous times. Countries like the US and Russia, and of course, China. But I think next Saturday we're going to have another, and I'm sure the way things are progressing. This T20 match of geopolitics. It's last year was T20. This year I think it's T10 or something. It's
T10,
every
yeah.
side has
Some
just
new
10,
format.
10 overs. So we will have something far more interesting, I guess, to talk about again. If it's not geopolitics, then we come back to India and India's near abroad. But once again, thanks very much, Jan Shankar, for making sense of this. And for all of you who are watching, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Gunner's Shot, one of a kind channel. Chakra News. We do serious debates on topics that you wouldn't find in very many places. Taking advantage of Jan Shankar's reach, understanding. He's someone who fires far beyond the horizon, beyond the range of conventional artillery. Uh, and with that, Jan Shankar, I think it's time to say goodbye and see you again next Saturday to all our viewers out there of Chakra and Gunner's Shot.
Thank you.